Forever. Come on, baby, light my fire. Ready for the show. Now I feel your love desire. Please don't ever go. I don't care, I'm so excited. Now I feel so free. Paradise into your eyes, so let it be. All the time, I need your shiny smile. Tonight I'm really gonna play. You know that life is just a game. Forever young, we're all for one. Forever love and fun, until the morning sun. Forever.
Welcome back to the Fate Prism TTRPG. Hopefully this time is going to be a very fun session since we are all officially level 2 characters.
Let's go! Yeah!
We are once again joined by our mainstay players, AI Ignister.
AI Ignister the Mute.
Yep. Atlas Core, obviously.
Hell yeah, it's me, brother. You best believe.
And Raven Soul.
It's me, and I got waffles.
Aw, damn, that actually sounds really good.
Hell yeah.
I got blueberry waffles in the freezer. I might borrow a couple.
Probably won't get breakfast.
Okay, now I'm set.
There we go.
Too bad you missed your introduction. And he's gone.
There you are.
I accidentally left the VC.
I'm keeping that in. I am keeping that in. This is just the mark of a good show. I can already tell.
Listen,
Wait,
it's
hold on.
not a good
Wait, hold on. Were you
TTR.
recording?
Yeah, we're
Yes.
recording.
When I said you missed your introduction, you missed your introduction. The session has begun. This is going in the YouTube video.
It is. Honestly, it just makes it better. It just makes it better.
Speaking of which, YouTube, I love y'all. Make sure y'all talk to me in the comments sometimes. I post as Barry.
Yeah, we need to try and stay on that. Actually, it's making the game videos a lot more fun. People are seeing the ARG-like elements in the videos, and they're getting a kick out of that.
Sometimes Caleb posts. This is great. I'm pretty sure Caleb uploaded a YouTube video.
Oh?
Oh, okay. Nanashi, you might not know this. A friend of mine, I can tell you who it is. It was Lidl. Lidl sent me a video saying someone posted this in Nanashi's Discord server, and it was literally a video uploaded to the YouTube channel posing as Caleb.
Really? Did you watch it?
Wait, hold on.
No.
Wait a minute. It was Lita?
It was Lidl.
Well, boss.
Lidl doesn't even know this campaign exists. I don't know how he found that video. He
Okay,
just said it was
I
in
know
the
how.
Discord
I know
server.
how. Boss J-Hog and my main server actually dropped a link to that video in the main server, and I guess Lidl found it and sent it to you, because Boss also mentioned in that comment that it looks like it's associated to the game because one of the channels then left a comment into it, etc., etc., etc. It's a long story, but I am curious though. Did you watch the video?
I didn't, because I generally don't like having knowledge about a TTRPG campaign that my character doesn't know.
Gotcha.
Because I don't always trust myself to, not be biased, so I just try to avoid it altogether.
Well,
I'll watch it at some point, though.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. That is actually something that Alice did in fact make for the game.
Gotcha. I kind of assumed it was Alice doing the YouTube channel, the way you kept talking about, Alice was or the Caleb was Alice's character.
And since that's happened, that actually, I will need you guys at some point in the very near future to watch that video now. You've brought attention to it. The ARG element has been fulfilled. It needs to happen.
Oh, shit.
Because it's going to be used as an element in this session now. I was waiting for somebody to bring it up. Now, you might have noticed that once again, Zivith is not with us today, and that's because he is still in recovery in the hospital. Ziv, if you are watching this, we wish you the speediest recovery, and we hope to see you in the next game if possible. It's just not the same without you, man. So, let's go ahead and get started on the game then, because we have a lot to go over. It's morning of the third day of your time here in the city of Diadem. You have all woken up at some point or another from a very, very unusual dream. One you just have no fucking clue what you just witnessed. And I need to know who is gonna get up first.
What the fuck did I wake up first?
All right. Thumbs up.
Now, the rest of you obviously cannot see this, but when Ignis goes into the bathroom to get himself fully woken up first, he looks in the mirror and he notices that something is unusual about himself. Now, you've never seen him fully unclothed, obviously, or unmasked for that matter, but you notice that your body has changed ever so slightly in shape. You appear to have gotten an inch taller, if not two, and what little draconian scale you have on your body appears to be a little bit more prominent. Definitely something that was not there the day before.
I don't remember having this.
But given how minuscule the change is, it's not necessarily something you need to pay attention to if you don't want to. And you'd be the only one that would know this. But it is something to watch.
Yeah. If it's not important right now, then, well, guess it's best, like, not to worry about it for right now.
Alright, well, who would be next?
Probably Barry. He probably had a hard time getting back to sleep after that weird-ass dream.
Mm-hmm. Well, Barry, when you go in the bathroom, you notice that you look a little bit more buff than you were before. You could swear your biceps look a little thicker. And the horns on the front of your head look just a little bit longer.
I could have swore people stopped growing at my age, but I love it. Hell yeah! All right. Can I take a moment? By the way, I wanna also talk to the homies on YouTube for a moment. I had a grand realization before the session, in that Barry is just a humanoid version of the beetle enemy from Kirby, the one that gives Kirby the suplex ability.
Mm-hmm. More or less.
It never clicked in my head before this. I think it's great, and quite frankly, I think, we just look better now, Anyways, that's enough for me. Please continue.
That's fine. On that note, I guess the next one on the list would be Joseph going into the bathroom to take a look at himself.
Yep.
Well, when you look in the bathroom, you remove your mask and well, not that you'd be wearing it while you sleep, obviously. When you look in the mirror, you notice that the scars that you mentioned on your face, for some reason, they look like they've gotten just ever so slightly smaller.
Either I've finally gotten drunk or a miracle is happening.
Now, when it comes to Chimo, though, she will already be awake and casually flipping through the newspaper, but when you look at her, her change is ever so slightly more apparent. Her eyes are different colors. One of them is...
Thank goodness. I thought you were going to say her chest was bigger.
Nah.
Oh, she's got homophobia. Nice change.
Ha. One of her eyes are pink, and the other one is white.
Oh, morning, Chimo. Anything interesting on the paper?
She just kind of tosses the paper onto the table. I wasn't really paying attention, but there's an article about the king's passing.
Yeah, I imagine so.
And since you are going to be the one to look at the paper, I will go ahead and send you that information now.
You know how it is. Barry starts his morning in the same way. A little bit of exercise, we go for a shower, morning cup of coffee, and newspaper while you're sipping.
Might as well be an old man at this point.
Yeah, I am. Barry is 50-something. I think I made him like 50 on the dot. Like, not quite as old as Joseph, but like old enough where like we could talk about some of the same stuff.
Well, I hope he wasn't as old as Joseph, given what was going on.
Okay, it's true. All right, let's see what we got here. He pulled out the paper. It's like, oh yeah, there's that article you was talking about. A day-long funeral service yesterday for Walton Taub. Bless his soul.
The article itself doesn't go into a grandiose amount of detail. It basically reviews everything that went on in his life, basically an extended obituary, but it does mention that by the end of the ceremony, over 5,000 people at one point or another visited him before he was buried.
Yeah, about to say Barry will relay that. It's like, kind of all the normal stuff we know. It's essentially like a long obituary. It does say here, though, over the course of the day-long ceremony, at some point, it is estimated about 5,000 people come to visit the man before he was buried. That's, beloved ruler, I suppose.
You can thank the guest book for that information.
Yeah. On another note, there's big old bold letters here. Today has been declared a day of grieving. You know what? That tracks.
The newspaper basically declares that since yesterday was the passing of the king, they have declared that today is a day where businesses have the option to cut it down to a half day or even a full day of closure if they really want to. And there's even going to be an arts and crafts festival to help people get out of their homes and get themselves into a new activity of some sort and enjoying their day down in the green domain.
Wait,
Listen to this here. It says here. So businesses have the option of closing early or not opening at all should they desire. Take this time to mourn. And apparently, down in the green domain, they're having some sort of arts and crafts festival to help kind of lift people's spirits. It would seem, I would guess, anyway.
And it also
give them a nice constructive way to. I'm sorry, Tanasha. We keep talking over
That's
each
fine.
other.
I was just gonna add
rock paper scissors for priority, or
if I could see your hands, maybe.
I'll turn on my face cam. I don't give a shit.
I'm not turning mine on.
Okay.
But yeah, I was just going to say, it lists things like basic arts and crafts, kite flying, yoga, even some archery for the adults.
This actually sounds kind of nice. I'm about to say I'll read off all of those, different events and things. It's like, that's a real nice thing to do. Give people a nice constructive way to process their grief. And then Barry's going to go on to the third bullet point. Once a week party this evening. What kind of party are we talking about this evening?
It specifies that there is a something akin to a music festival block party kind of thing happening over in the yellow domain that happens once a week in the evening of every Saturday. And it's hosted by, in big bold letters, someone by the name of DJ Zahir.
Oh, apparently in the yellow domain, they're having some form of a big bash, like I don't know, what would y'all call it? Like a block party, I suppose. Hosted by one DJ. Barry like put the newspaper closer just to make sure he's getting the letters. I just DJ Zahir. How was that spelled, Nanashi? I really need to know now. Oh, hold on. I have to go back to the Discord server as opposed to your name. Okay, one singular word, Zahir. Gotcha. And then finally at the bottom here we got an advertisement, a reminder advertisement for the Cirque du Gaumont tomorrow. That's right, there's a circus happening tomorrow.
It goes on to list a little bit more information than prior. It says that they're going to be having 3 shows a day for the next 6 weeks.
3 shows a day for the next 6 weeks?
It's a summer-long circus.
That's... Whew. I wonder if they're hiring a strongman.
Couldn't hurt to go down and take a look.
Working on getting my muscles in shape and performing for an audience? Maybe something worth looking into.
Joseph will walk downstairs as that is said.
Oh, Joseph, you're just in time. You got any plans or agendas for today? We're getting ready to get on the move.
He's gonna hold something up to present. Well, I've got quite the task to get the move on today. I gotta get this old thing fixed up, especially after yesterday. He holds up what appears to be a sword in sheath. Let me get that. Nanashi, do I just drop the reference image?
You can if you want. I can drop it in post. But essentially, it looks like something of a shorter style sword with a dragon's head built into the hilt, I believe it was.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember. Raven, didn't you reference your ghost buddy from last session as being Chinese?
Yes.
That'd probably make it. Is it a curved sword, or it would only be a curved sword? I don't think the Chinese had a straight sword.
Well, this is...
It's a unique model of sword.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a unique sword model given after a special thing.
Ceremonial.
Relatively straight, single-edged, very surprisingly thin. I'm sorry, I really like swords.
I will keep that in mind, actually.
I, as a player, really love swords. And like the history of like different variations of sword and how different countries make their edged weaponry. Like, sure, you could just say, "Oh, I have a sword," but you gotta understand, there's a big difference between having like a khopesh or a Chinese dowel. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're both swords. But they're very, very different. Granted, the khopesh is a bit closer to an axe, but that's beside the point.
I'm actually really glad that you're such a weapons expert. That's going to make things more fun down the road.
Listen, I'll never claim to be an expert. I'm more
Nerd.
just claim to be passionate about the subject. Yeah, nerd would probably be the best way for it.
You're a sword nerd.
Yeah, that's probably the best word for it.
All right, well, Joseph has quite literally and metaphorically laid on the table that he wants to get this old thing repaired. I assume you guys have no issues with that?
No, sounds like fun. Barry is like, may I pick it up? Do I have your permission? I just want to get a closer look at it.
Just be careful. It's not exactly in the best shape after... It's been a while since I even touched this thing.
Barry picks it up, actively acknowledges in his own head, okay, I've got to be a bit more gentle with this, because apparently I've gotten buff over the past 24 hours? Whatever. I want to try and, like, gently remove it from the sheath.
You notice that upon removing it from the sheath, only, like... because the sword is essentially snapped in two, so you only get the lower half alongside the hilt.
Ah. You know what? I can definitely see why this would be in need of some repair.
Yes, the sheath is the only thing keeping it together at the moment, and in hindsight, I should have been more respectful with it. But then again, I didn't know I'd have someone watching over me, so...
The perks of being a military man, I suppose. Always got someone watching you six, Barry says with like a kind of a smart-assery smirk. You know what I mean?
I'm going to slap you.
You'd probably don't hurt yourself now. Yeah, I'm gonna respectfully like put it back in the sheath and set it back down on the table.
Right when you do that, you hear a noise coming from your house that you've never noticed before, specifically from the kitchen. It's a rattling, ringing noise. It's a phone call coming in.
We get it. We're getting phone calls now. Hooray!
Barry is so excited.
Now, the phone that you guys have actually looks like a modern-ish style of corded wall phone, but the body itself is made entirely out of polished wood, and the push buttons are glass, instead of it all being plastic.
Barry's gonna sprint to the phone. I might bulldoze someone by accident. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
He's so excited.
Hold on.
Barry's
How thick is the glass?
They're very tiny glass panel buttons. Like they're maybe nickel size.
I'm big, but I'm not so big that my fingers are too big to press. I don't have sausage fingers.
Are we dealing with a Sam and Max I got it thing?
I don't know what you're referencing, but yes, I got it.
I know what he's referenced.
Yeah, basically Sam and Max, old cartoon, small rabbit, big dog, but every time the phone rings, they all scramble over each other to try and get it, and the big guy's always the one that answers the phone.
Yes. Thumbs big ass. You can't see it, but I'm doing a very big, enthusiastic thumbs up. Yes.
I will send you a clip of that sometime.
Barry's gonna answer the phone, and he'll just hear deep breathing, and then 7 days.
That would only work in a reality where TVs exist, and you live in an island that doesn't have one.
She could probably get creative. It's a vengeful ghost.
But when you answer the phone, Barry, you hear the voice of Nash, who sounds surprisingly chipper compared to how he was yesterday.
Alright, he killed him.
Okay, come on now. Come on now, Raven. Surely not. I'd really hope not. That would be a really fucked up plot twist.
I mean, reply back and see what happens.
Hello?
This is Barry, correct?
It sure is. Nash, is that you?
Yes, it is. I actually am calling on official business. I'd like you and the rest of your party to come down to see King Akarui at your earliest convenience. There's an urgent matter he wants to speak with you about.
We're not getting arrested, are we?
No, nothing like that.
Okay, good. I'd like to think we've done more good than trouble since we've been here.
Well, so far I haven't had any reason to complain.
You sound pretty good. You doing all right?
I'm better. I had a full night's sleep. I had a very, very long night's sleep. I think I slept like 12 hours yesterday after I got home. Ugh.
You know, whatever gets you through it, man. Good to hear it. We'll we can come up there pretty soon. We was actually making our morning plans, so I'll throw that in. I'll throw that hat in the ring. We'll get down there as soon as we can.
Well, rule of thumb, sooner rather than later, probably be best.
Oh yeah, today's a half day, ain't it? Do y'all get your office officials get it off too?
We do, which means that we're going to be working until probably about noon, so sooner would probably be rather than later.
Gotcha. All right. I'll make sure to mention that.
All right, hopefully we'll see you soon.
All right, see you later. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Putting the phone back on the thing. Okay, guys, I've got weird news and I've got good news. The good news is we're not getting arrested because y'all listen to me say that. The weird news is King Akarui wants to see us. Preferably sooner rather than later. What with today being a half day for the office workers up yonder. So he said they'll probably be out about noon. But that was Nash on the phone, by the way. I guess I should have specified that to start with. Nash said it'd probably be better if we got up there sooner rather than later. And that they'll probably be getting out about noon, so before then would be preferable.
All right, so you've got Joseph's thing that he wants to do about possibly going and seeing, I guess, a blacksmith to get the weapon repaired. And you got the going to see the king at some point today as well. Which one will you be doing first?
I feel like, on one hand, I care a lot as a player about Joseph's sword, but at the same time, it feels like it'd be really not good form to keep the king waiting. Excuse me, to keep the king waiting. That's it. Does anyone else have any thoughts on the matter?
I think seeing the king first might be better.
Yeah, Joseph would have put that high on the priority list.
All right, then I guess we're heading down to see the king.
I finally get to use this document of questions to ask Akarui.
I'm gonna be honest, that is part of the reason that I've arranged it as such, is because I know you had a lot of questions, but this is also gonna help further the plot just a wee bit, so it all worked out for everybody.
Yay.
So, we'll say you guys just made a simple, quick, and easy breakfast out of whatever supplies you had in your backpacks, and you just trudge your way down to the capital in the middle of the island. Sound good?
Mate, we'll also make sure we specify aloud morning newspaper in the bottom of Sonny's cage, and food, water. I don't want him tearing shit up again.
You know what? We'll say that
did Chimo already
Chimo
take care
actually...
of that?
Yeah, I was going to say, let's just say that Chimo took care of that while you guys were handling the phone call, because she really wouldn't care that much about what was going on in that regard.
Fair enough, I guess.
So after that, you guys head down, and you see quite a few people walking around, since the businesses are kind of half and half closed today, given the circumstances. So there's a lot more people walking around in the city today. So it takes you a little bit longer to get to where you need to go, but you do eventually reach the city capital.
Alright, well, on we get.
And once you go inside the building, you see Nash, who is immediately flagging you guys down, while he's scribbling down on a clipboard.
Burial wave as we walk up. Hey, Nash, buddy. We're here. ASAP, just like I promised.
There's our town heroes. King Akarui is waiting for you. I just need to bust you guys right in.
Yes, sir. Well, we're here, we're ready, we're happy to see him.
And right before his finger hits the button, you see King Akarui's hallway doors burst open. An angry man just marching his way out like he's ready to murder someone, followed by a familiar-looking Puma man in Thunder Force attire. Now, obviously you recognize Harkin, but the other one is a Doberman man, muscular but a bit pudgy around the stomach, in a white sleeveless shirt with black suspenders and a red bandana over his forehead. Also, he has a white biker-style mustache. This is basically just going to be like a few seconds of cutscene material, I guess you could say.
Right.
Harkin's going to grab that Doberman's shoulder and stop him from walking away. Jerras, stop. I understand you're upset. And he turns to Harkin, causing his hand to leave his shoulder, growling lowly. Upset? That son of a bitch tried to lowball me on that deal, and you know it. Harkin removes his sunglasses, revealing his soulful cat eyes. Jerras, you have to understand, he is not made of coin. Not to mention the morality issue. And Jerras just groans in annoyance, rolling his eyes. Don't give me that crap, Harkin. The man wears gold draperies like some... What do they call them out there? Arabian princes? He puts his hands around his muzzle and just goes... yelling in frustration in his own palms, and then takes a deep breath, trying to calm himself. I refuse to be taken advantage of. This could have been the deal of a lifetime for me. Harkin places a hand on his shoulder. Again, it still can be. The coin is one thing, but the publicity of your store attached to the Thunder Force will be great marketing. Everyone will know your name. And Jerras just sighs out of frustration. Yeah, I guess. Thank you. Either way, I owe you one for talking him up to where it landed. And Harkin removes his hand from Jerras' shoulder to between them, awaiting a handshake with a stern look in his eye. Friends don't hold debts over each other, you know that. But you spot me for lunch and we'll call it even. And Jerras just smirks, accepts that handshake, and out of the corner of his eye, spots your group. Hey, wait a sec. I recognize you guys. Aren't you the latest batch of newbies turned heroes?
Yeah.
Damn,
Yep.
what travels that quickly?
He claps his hands in sudden satisfaction. Well, my day just became better. Name's Jerras. I run the weapons store. If you guys are ever looking for something bigger and better, look me up. And he slips you guys a business card with black lettering that mirrors everything he just told you, with a phone number on it.
Wait, weapons store?
Weapon store, yeah.
Wait a minute.
We'll definitely take that under consideration.
You wouldn't happen to be a blacksmith, would you?
Nah, that guy's farther down in the same district. By the way, is that a Mosin Magan?
Yeah, it is.
Nice. You should stop by sometime. I think I got something special you might like.
I'll think about it.
Well, then I'll think about going to get myself a bite to eat. I am starving after all the calories I just burned off getting pissed off at King Birdface today.
Yeah, it sounded very tense.
And he just laughs a little. You have no idea. And he walks right out the door, letting it shut behind him.
Joseph will just say say close to Barry and Ignis. Worst part is, given my time, I probably do know what that feel like.
And that's when Harkin steps up toward your group. I understand you have a meeting with the king. I'll be attending with you, and I apologize for his outburst.
We all have our days, I suppose.
Well, this was going to be his big day. He came to broker a deal to outfit the Thunder Force with new weapons, but King Akarui lowballed him a little when he realized Jerras just resells weapons pawned off to him from marauders and other questionable sources. The situation was, what did that book call it? A series of unfortunate events, morality-wise?
I suppose it's something like that.
Well, in any case, we have a meeting to attend, shall we?
Yes, we shall.
He walks over to Nash and tells him that he can just hang out here and that he'll take care of the escorting himself. And he leads you guys down the same hall, following you in to Akarui's office and locking the door behind himself. And when you get in there, Akarui's sitting at his desk signing a ton of paperwork, but he's dressed a little differently this time. This time he's wearing something more casual speaking, a regular-looking t-shirt and jacket combo. He's not wearing his fancy pendant. He looks a lot more normal than he did the first time you met him. When he sees your group, he immediately puts his pen down. Welcome back, heroes, and thank you for coming to see me so promptly. I'll be honest, I didn't expect to see you until later.
Well, Nash said sooner rather than later, and we took that to heart.
Fair enough. Well, this is actually a dual-purpose meeting. Firstly, I wanted to see how you were all faring so far. Normally, after welcoming in people, I just leave you to your own devices, but unlike the others that came the last several times, the four of you have been a lot more active in public, especially after you're defeating those marauders.
Yeah, a little bit of an understatement, but yeah. Trouble just seems to find us, and we promptly remove the trouble.
Well, either way, keep up the good work. I appreciate you dealing with those marauders so efficiently. And cleanly, according to Harkin here. The expense to repairing all their property damage was really starting to hurt our city's budget, but our finances are stabilizing again.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. We seeing all the damage they be wreaking all over the place.
And given that they attack something different almost every day, there's no set pattern, so we can't even have money pre-allocated to one thing or the other.
Hold on, Ignis just proceeds to look at Barry due to the lack of money he has.
Yeah.
Right, he broke himself.
Yeah, we ain't gonna talk about that though. We ain't gonna talk about that though. I bought the first round of groceries, dag nabbit. That money was well used.
So, what were you about to ask?
Well, I was gonna say, since we got you and Hawk in here, I did have one question of curiosity regarding the Marauder attacks.
Ask away. We pretty much have all morning to answer whatever questions you have.
Do y'all have any idea why they never hit the pet store? I found that really fascinating.
The pet store.
Yeah, the one that Caleb runs.
Right. I know which one you're referring to. It's the only pet store in the city. No, now that I think about it, I can't think of a reason. Most likely possibility is there's just nothing there for them to steal that's worth anything.
Yeah, but the
Maybe.
damage seems like indiscriminate regardless of stealing shit. Stealing stuff, forgive my language.
We're all adults here. I'm not going to hold it against you. But you do make an interesting point. I never really put any thought into it. There are a couple of businesses they either don't seem to damage or is so minimal that it can be fixed rather easily compared to others. I might have that looked into.
Like, we saw an overturned ambulance.
Oh, wonderful.
Don't worry, I fixed that one.
Well, thank you. That's another 100Z I won't have to spend on a wrecker.
And then, as if the marauders weren't already bothering us enough, there seems to be an ongoing issue.
Regarding?
It is in regards to these strange occurrences that are happening involving gold dust.
Oh, yes, the gold dust injuries. I've heard about those.
It's weird, because we learned about this from an incident in the Violet Demense, where a certain dragon was being attacked with it, which caused it to go into a fit of rage, and we had to calm it down. Its back legs were attacked, and it was seemingly left to just bleed out to death. And then we learned from the doctor that the previous king, well, he died in a similar manner.
You actually got to see his private medical file?
Joseph has medical expertise, so the doctor was willing to work with us.
Ah, even I didn't have access to that. Doctor-client confidentiality extends pretty deep in here. It's a matter of respect more than anything law-based.
Well, we went there with the express purpose of trying to help develop some countermeasures to this gold dust, because nasty business.
But the thing that bothers me is that it seems even more barbaric of use than it seems like something as barbaric as it is, something that not even the marauders would be able to get their hands on.
I'll keep my eye open and see if I can find anything that might be prevalent to this. Obviously not today, because we don't have a tremendous amount of time, but first business day we're open, I will.
And then, of course, there's the fact that, well, at first we thought it was maybe poachers, given that we thought it was just a dragon at first. But then as it goes around from people to people, some injured, some dead like the previous king, well, these weren't exactly coordinated either, given that, from what I hear, he didn't have any known enemies.
Oh, absolutely not. The man was a practical saint. You wouldn't know it, but he's a more prolific fighter than I am.
I mean, to be fair, we don't know how good of a fighter you are.
I will give you that one. But on to the other reason that I've contacted you to come here. The second topic is a little bit more pressing. I dare call it urgent. We think there may be a mole in the Thunder Force.
A spy, you say?
That's man, for this city being so small, y'all got a lot of goings on here.
Harkin actually steps up. We've had several strange occurrences within our organization since long before you arrived. Calls sending us to wrong locations, incorrect records on reports, evidence disappearing from our inventory. It's happening too consistently to be a coincidence, but we cannot identify the perpetrator. And after your contribution to putting Lucky away, it became even more apparent that someone is manipulating the system in favor of the Marauders in whatever way they can manage.
This is my time to
That's
shine,
nasty.
boys.
That's some awful stuff.
Now, before you jump to any conclusions, personally I would be thrilled to see the bad element rooted out, but I cannot authorize such a mission as an investigation, nor can Harkin. We've launched an internal investigation, and you can keep an eye out for any suspicious behavior if you're so inclined, but I'm not going to ask you to participate. In fact, quite the contrary, this is a direct and clear warning to all of you. I understand one of you has recently applied to join the Thunder Force.
Yes, Chimo has here.
Yeah, Barry just points to Chimo. That one right there, sir.
She steps up, arms crossed, and raises an eyebrow, interested in what King Akarui has to say. I have your application paperwork right here in my hands, and I'm willing to approve it right now and get you on active duty as early as possibly Monday. But I need to know that even with the knowledge of a corrupt agent somewhere in this, you are still interested in making a difference. You wouldn't be the first vigilantes to turn Thunder Force after all, and Akarui and Harkin just mirror an amused glance.
Nice.
Chimo smiles a little. It's going to take a lot more than that to keep me out of the Thunder Force. And Akarui goes, I admire your dedication. I will get your paperwork filed as soon as possible, and we will likely see you out on the field within the week.
Barry does polite applause for Chimo.
And Harkin actually kind of joins in on that one.
Hey, everyone needs a hype man. It doesn't matter who, when, or for what purpose. Everyone needs a hype man.
Of course. And Akarui continues, it should also be noted that this information is strictly confidential. Until now, the only ones who knew about the potential mole were myself and Harkin. And since you've done so much for the city, we felt you'd earn just a little bit of trust.
Well, I mean, I saw a fair bit of things in my day, but I don't see any reason to steal from y'all.
And we appreciate that. Now, before we send you on your way for the day, was there anything else that you wanted to ask, as long as we're here?
Barry goes, ooh, actually, and then he's gonna pull out like a notepad that I don't think any of y'all have seen up to this point. I have been writing down a list of like curiosity questions. If you don't mind answering them for me.
When did you have the time for that?
You know, past 2 days while we've been here. Whenever I have a question, I just write it down and be like, I'm just gonna ask Akarui this later because he knows the ins and outs of the city.
Ask away.
So my first question here, the day after we arrived, or might have been the day of, I don't remember for sure. We went to the movies and we noticed y'all have a bunch of movies on display. Do y'all get new movies here? And if so, how? Because it's not like you can contact the outside world.
Of course. I assume, based on your appearances, that you've been visiting Demesne, yes?
Oh yeah.
Have you run into one of the domain masters by the name of Conroy?
Yeah, Orange Domain. He's actually the one we visited first.
Were you by any chance inclined to donate to his library?
We did. I'm not gonna lie. The section of his library for horror of the horror genre is probably substantially fuller now, thanks to Joseph here.
I will not look any further into that, but he is essentially the reason why. In addition to filling out new books, every once in a while he's able to pull out other information as well. Music, visual images, that it can be turned into photos. He somehow found a way to convert his magical script writing into imprinting into film. So we can basically duplicate movies from people's memories. There's always a little bit of wonkiness because no one ever remembers everything perfectly, but through contributive, collaborative efforts, we can basically recreate any movie that enough people have seen.
So that explains
Barry's
some of
just
the...
kind of slack-jawed, just Wow.
Yes, when you have somebody who is as potent with magic as he is, trying to preserve any and all information that you can think of, you tend to find interesting ways to do it.
That's kind of awesome.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely made living here a lot more fun.
Yeah, I'd say so. Other question I had here. I can't help but notice, despite how small the city is, there's a fair few amount of cars on the road. I don't really see the purpose since you could literally get from one side to you could literally cross the entire diameter of diadem in about an hour, 45 minutes if you're jogging. How do you all deal with the air pollution in here? Because it's not like it's got much place to go.
I am incredibly impressed that you had that forethought. First off, the reason that people even have vehicles is some people just don't want to give up the convenience of being able to get from A to B without having to walk everywhere or taking the bus. It's a status thing or a convenience thing. The vehicles themselves are actually not powered by fossil fuel. They are powered by mana. A single instance of mana is enough to start a vehicle and have it run for as long as you need to, pretty much for an entire day before it runs out. These vehicles are built physically very minimally. They're more like glorified go-karts with thicker metals, so a single point of mana can basically make it run as long as you need it to. As such, there's no air pollution.
See, I need you to understand, I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because I am in awe. That is awesome.
I tried to think of everything.
All right. It's like, wow, that's only we could incorporate such technology outside of this city.
Well, we could if the corporations weren't so greedy.
Well, at some point, you need to go talk to a man by the name of Zahir over in the Yellow Domain. He's the tech head in many of our development areas.
He was mentioned in the newspaper, in the morning paper today.
Right, he's having a party tonight. He does that once a week. It's usually a pretty big shindig. Pretty much everybody goes to him at one point or another. It's not for everyone, but he does have a nice selection of music.
Yeah, it might be worth going to for the experience. Barry looks at the camera, breaking the fourth wall, and the experience points.
I'm just going to have to make a shatter effect on that one.
I mean, I would question that, but given that Barry's an entertainer, yeah.
Obviously, he doesn't. Obviously, that's going to have no bearing on the role play. It's not like he's going to say that in a literal sense. But at the same time, for the people at home, I also love performing for a YouTube audience. It's very funny.
Mm-hmm. So
I like going back and watching my own bullshittery later. It's great.
And yet you've openly declared that you have not sat down and watched any more of the game itself.
Listen.
I'm busting your balls. Relax.
I'm too damn hyperactive to watch a TTRPG at home. I need to be up and about and moving. I'm sorry I lost my job, Nanashi.
It's fine, man. And for the record, have you had any better luck getting a new one?
No.
Damn. Well, hopefully you get a new one soon.
I've been
not
too busy.
the only one.
Of course
I've been
not.
too busy playing Elden Ring.
Wonderful. Oh, boy. All right. Let's go ahead and get back to the story then before we get lost in an Elden Ring conversation.
Yeah.
So, did you have any more questions?
Yeah, it's like, okay, I've got one more here. I unfortunately didn't get too many questions wrote down here. But I have this one last one. Do y'all have internet access here, just out of mild curiosity?
Akarui actually looks a little bit upset. Sadly, no. Everything that we have here is technologically minimal. There's no internet, there's no cell phones, there's no TVs, there's not even a radio system.
Oh, that's...
We do have music, though.
The music is pretty nice. All right, that was just curiosity. Honestly, it might be for the better when you see how the internet developed out yonder.
Oh, I'm fully aware of what the internet is and how it's probably developed since my team and I arrived here.
How long have you been here, if you don't mind my asking? Now I'm curious.
About 10 years, give or take 3 months.
Okay.
Yes, we're immigrants.
Yeah. All right. Good for you. All right, well, Barry closes his notepad. Well, that's all I had. Just sticks it back in his back pocket.
Actually, you reminded me, since I'm going to be working a half day, I might stop off at the music store and see if they have anything new. I haven't updated my collection in a while.
Oh yeah, might be nice. What type of music you like?
I'm more of an indie rock kind of person.
Oh, nice. I mostly grew up in the South, so I'm kind of partial to my country music.
Plenty of that.
I do enjoy a little bit of Frank Sinatra from time to time because that was one of my mama's favorites.
Classic.
Yeah, very much so.
Well, I thank you for your time, heroes, and I will let Harkin see you out. And Harkin walks over to the door and holds it open for you.
I put my hand out for a handshake. Always a pleasure to see you.
Akarui takes that handshake, and you feel it. You could swear it feels about the same, even though you've gotten a little bit more buff.
Barry just kind of nods. Yep, always good to see you. We'll be heading on out now.
And Harkin walks you guys right out the front door. You see Nash sitting at his desk, scribbling away on his clipboard and some other papers on the table. And when he walks you out the front door, he turns to you and just says, "I will see you around, I'm sure."
Yep, I'm sure we'll see you somewhere, Harkin. It's like I said to him, trouble seems to follow us, so.
So I've noticed. The silver parts in his uniform start to glow, and you see him just disappear from view, leaving only a scorch mark on the ground and a lingering stench of ozone.
You know, I will say, it kind of makes you wonder why they're called the Thunder Force, because thunder is the sound that comes after lightning strikes. Barry says that out loud to just whoever's listening.
Actually, that's an interesting question. But before we go any farther, can I get you guys to give me a quick notice roll?
Barry pulls out his notepad and is writing down the new question.
Wrong thing. This is also the wrong thing. There it is.
Barry is not paying attention because he's writing down a new question in his notepad.
And don't forget, Raven has gotten a boost on his, so he needs to keep that in mind when he rolls.
Yeah, I just need to pull up the
Whoa.
updated sheet
No.
because I have a 2 in notice. But knowing how the bot likes to pick favorites.
Well, it's clear that I'm not the favorite.
Okay, I got a 0.
That's fine.
We are not with it.
I mean, you're a little distracted from the conversation, and you know what? I am going to make a roll for Chimo, because she does not have a notice score, but she deserves the right to roll too. Oh.
If she gets a plus, oh no, we're in the same boat.
All right, roll off.
We are not with it today. The bot giveth and the bot taketh away.
Okay, so an average.
All right, and okay, yep, that's about what I expected.
Finally, it stopped being a bipolar bitch for 5 seconds.
Don't tempt it. Don't insult it.
I'm
It's
going
gonna
to,
be
and I'm
bipolar
never gonna.
again.
Every time it acts bipolar, I'm going to insult it.
Dude, I'm gonna have to start buttering up the bot. Like, I'm gonna have to start getting cozy with this thing to make sure you don't kill all of our rolls.
I just now have the mental image of the Magic Conch episode, but it's just Atlas being like, "Can I get a good roll?" No.
Can you say anything else but no?
Yes.
Can we have some good rolls?
No.
You
You see this?
Uh,
Joseph will look over from Barry and everyone else's conversation and notice Jerras talking to someone. Isn't that Jerras over there?
who do I know?
When he points it out, you spot Jerras in the distance, leaning onto a nearby building in the shade, and you see him stealthily handing a bag of what you assume to be coin based on the shape and size to somebody in a dark brown trench coat and matching hat. And then that person hands him a heavy-looking duffel bag before stepping out of view. Jerras then just walks away as nonchalantly as possible.
Nashi, can I ask you a question?
Shoot.
Since Barry, kind of stays on edge when that individual is brought up, is there a possibility that I recognize an individual in the black trench coat or the brown trench coat as Lind?
Yes.
It's just Lind. He's just talking with Lind. You know what? Two shady characters talking in the back alleyway. You know what? That might actually be some cause for concern.
You hear somebody directly speaking behind Barry, not up against his back, but like a few feet away. Curious, isn't it? I wonder what that could have been about.
Barry practically jumps out of his carapace. One of these days, you're gonna sneak up behind me and I'm gonna accidentally box you because you scared the shit out of me.
This time, Lind is actually standing a good 6 feet away, leaning against the side of another building in the shade. All 6 arms crossed individually, with one leg like propped up, and he's just being as carefree as he can possibly be.
Well, good. You already prepared for that eventuality. At least we acknowledge. At least we understand each other. Woo!
I promised I'd improve my attempt.
Well, you know what? The effort is appreciated. Even if I don't appreciate you, the effort is appreciated.
Speaking of effort, I noticed you've been visiting the Demesne recently. I do hope you found them all to be hospitable thus far.
We've enjoyed our time. Barry glances over to Ignis. Some of us more than others, but we all enjoy our time in the Demesne.
Well then, allow me to offer you another free piece of advice. I'm sure you've realized the masters that run these domains are far more dangerous than they let on, but when they are challenged outright, they rarely hold back. So be prepared for the worst. Sharpen your tools of war, and make your strategies flawless, and above all, he leans in to Ignis specifically, make sure you stock up on quality health potions. And he chuckles softly as he leans back into the shade of the building, and for whatever reason, his body just blends into its shadow and just disappears entirely.
Nashi, you want to know the really funny thing about Lind?
Hmm?
I once roleplayed as another character with that exact ability. The shadows are my domain. Not in this timeline, unfortunately.
Obviously.
But in another universe, somewhere else, there is some goober wearing a fedora. Crap, what is his name? I don't even remember anymore. Somewhere out there, somewhere in another universe, there's a goober wearing a fedora playing a card game. With the ability to teleport from shadow to shadow. No, it was not a Yu-Gi-Oh roleplay. Yes, it was a fedora. For those of you that don't know, I actually have a collection of fedoras in real life. I've got like 20 plus of them, all different colors.
Okay, Shotaro.
I'm about to say, I said Linkara. Oh no, now
I don't know what either one of you are talking about, unfortunately, so shrug.
We need to tell him about the lore at some point.
Well, we'll talk about that probably after the game. In the meantime, though, I believe the next stop on your journey today was going to be to hit up the Blacksmith?
Yep.
Seems like it.
Alright, then we'll just say that after that little bit of a creep fest involving Lind, you decide to walk over to the Blacksmith to try and distance yourself from that wall as much as possible.
Yeah, can Barry talk to the homies while we walk? I
course.
wanna have it. So, what do you think he's on about challenging them? It's like, why? For what purpose will we be, challenging the domain masters?
Probably to rule over their domains, I guess.
Well, of course, it might also have something to do with that supposed prophecy to leave this island. But honestly, I kind of forgot about that because I'm kind of having fun here. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I know we came here on a job, but when life gives you lemons, grow a lemon tree.
I mean, it would feel very weird to have to fight them after how approachable they've been, but it wouldn't be the first time for my sake.
I would kind of want to wrestle with Arledge, but honestly, I think in my current strength he'd obliterate me. But I don't want his title or nothing. I just want to fight for the fight. Sometimes when you live to compete, you want to compete with those stronger than you.
So if the domain masters are just as strong as Arledge, then we might have quite the challenge in our hands.
Yeah. Well, I like to imagine they're probably as strong in their own regards. But probably differently so. For example, we remember Whitaker in that snowball fight being very dexterous and hard to hit, versus Arledge. Arledge was just buff as shit, despite not really having the build. Yeah, y'all know me. I've shaken y'all's hands. You know that when I go into a handshake, sometimes I pop your hands a little bit. It's not intentional, but I'm just strong. I give people a strong handshake. When I shook hands with him, I felt I felt like beyond a limp dish rag. I felt like a paper towel in comparison. Like he's just raw strength. So it kind of makes me wonder. Miranda, she seemed very very more magically inclined. Like I mean, they're all good with their own types of magic, but Miranda especially so. If that makes sense. So I feel like they are all that strong, but they're not all strong in the same sense. They all have their specialties. Conroy doesn't strike me as a fighter, but he's also a domain master. So, yeah.
Well, by the end of this little conversation you have, you reach the blacksmith's building. It's a red brick building of a small yet sturdy design with a hammer and anvil sign over the door that currently has a bullet hole in the hammer's handle.
Damn it. One of these days we'll find a place the Marauders haven't hit. To be fair, the pet store they hadn't hit. As previously mentioned.
And upon opening the door, you are greeted by the stench of coal fire. Inside the building is fairly well laid out and designed, obviously physically built to handle extreme heat, which you're not feeling a lot of it, you're just more smelling it than anything. On the left wall, you see a bunch of freshly cleaned hammers, chisels, punches, tongs, and files. The back wall has a few built-in-the-wall forges, each with its own anvil, vise, metal table, and steel drum full of water, one of which is currently being occupied by somebody you can't quite make out. And on the right wall, it's covered by racks of mat aprons, goggles, thick gloves, other safety accessories. And in the middle is a square counter ran by an older jackal man with short brown hair behind a pair of goggles on his forehead and a red flannel long-sleeve shirt under a mat apron with a gold name tag reading Marvin.
Everyone we've interacted with has name tags. Do you reckon that's just mandatory when you go to work, you have a name tag? Barry, this is just Barry kind of musing to himself. You know what? Into the notebook.
Joseph will walk up to the jackal man in question. Excuse me, you're the blacksmith?
You see Marvin is actually slowly and carefully cutting holes with a small golden X-Acto knife-like blade into a huge piece of wood. It looks like a big bat with a metal loop hanging off the end of the handle. But when he spots you, he carefully puts his tool down on a nearby stand and smiles wide. Why, yes, I am. How can I help you?
I was wondering how much it costs to repair this, Joseph will say as he drops the sword. Is there, like, a table next to him? Like, a sort of, like...
It's a long and wide square counter. You can just put it down on the table beside the thing he's working on, and there'll be plenty of room.
Yeah, he will gently place the sword down.
He'll pick up the item. I might be able to. Depends on what we're working with here. Let's see. So it's not really a complicated weapon, but the break is definitely not going to be easy to repair. Let me think. Let me do a quick roll here privately.
Please you know what? I was going to say, please let the bot giveth. This is outside the bot's control. You're rolling dice manually.
I make sure that anything that is not directly related to a character that I need to represent or nothing that I just feel like throwing in there for fun is rolled on outside of the physical game, because I think that gives it a bit more of an authentic edge.
Right.
Yeah.
Nanashi, please don't mess up this roll.
Oh, I'm not going to mess up anything. I mean, regardless if you win or lose this, I will make sure you find a way to repair this. It's actually important. It just might not be the way that you're hoping for.
Okay, so it's more so whether to see if he's like able to repair like the problem part or not.
Essentially, I've devised a few different possibilities of outcomes for this. Like I said, I try to be prepared.
This isn't a visual novel game. I don't know what is.
Okay, he takes he pulls it out of the scabbard very carefully, takes a close examination of it, and he said, "Okay, this is right up my alley, but the problem is I gotta finish this, the guy called it a kanabo first. The earliest I can have it done is gonna be about a week."
That is fine with me.
Very perks up. You're making a kanabo?
Yeah, I was actually in the middle of carving out the holes, and once I'm done with this, I gotta fill it with metal rods and turn the ends into rounded studs.
Very nice, very nice. Forgive my interruption. I did a little historical studies in college.
Oh, you too, huh?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I dropped out of college when my wrestling career took off, but we retain a little bit of information.
Yeah, fair. Well, there is one other blacksmith you could talk to, the guy who taught me everything I know. He might be able to get it done for you today, depending on how busy he is.
Another blacksmith?
Mm-hmm. I was taught how to do metalworking by a hot-headed piece of work named Outagain. I'm pretty sure he's still around. If you take that to him, he can probably do things to it I never could.
Where would he be at?
You got a map?
Joseph will pull out the map.
He points out a red spot on the northernmost part of the rock wall around Diadem.
The
Yeah.
red domain.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it, but you kind of predicted it. That's where you guys are going.
I mean, forgive the obvious pun. It's kind of hard not to hit the nail on the head with that one. It's right there. It'd be weirder for it to not be.
Well, since you're actually in the business district, that means you are right next door to it, so it'll take you all of 5 minutes to get there.
Awesome.
Yeah, how convenient.
Very convenient.
Now, the gate itself is a golden ring with a red magic wall looking like a slowly dancing image of flames.
Ignis, I'm not throwing you in this one because I don't want to throw you into a forge or some nonsense. You're draconic, but you don't look fireproof.
You want to bet?
No.
While you two are having your verbal fornication session, Chimo's already walked inside.
Don't call it verbal fornication.
Let's be honest, you two have verbal foreplay every time you walk in one of these things.
Yeah.
I don't know if this constitutes foreplay to Nashi.
I'm making a joke, but you get my point.
I do. It's very funny. All right, yeah. Let's get in here.
All
Man,
right.
Joseph did walk ahead of those two as they were talking.
So you walked in right behind Chimo then.
Yep.
When you walk in through the gate, you feel an immense heat hit you right in the face, and your nose is bombarded by the stench of smoke and sulfur. But once the sensation of your eyes being soft-boiled wears off, you see a simple town full of storefront shops surrounding a single dirt road stretching into the distance. Now, behind you, the gate is embedded into the side of a mountain's rocky baseline. On your left, you see at least a dozen different colored wooden houses stretching down the spacious dirt path, each of their front porches holding wooden racks and tables. Straight ahead, you see a group of people all sitting around a fire on the far end of the dirt path, and it looks like they're having a good old-fashioned time. You can hear music coming from their direction. And on your right, you see several good-sized plantation fields behind wood and rope fences, each one hosting a different kind of food or crop, each one with a caretaker actively managing the plants.
Seems like an odd spot to grow food, but then again, they got a whole town here. I imagine they must sustain themselves to a certain degree.
Seems like the Violet Demense isn't the only area of the island that, well, ensures the making of the food.
Can we tell from this distance what they're growing? I'm curious.
Actually, yes, I will give you that one.
What would be growing in an environment this hot? Because as hot as it is here, I imagine it's not terribly humid.
Well, in this particular place, you see a lot of tropical plants and herbs and spices you don't normally see in other areas. Specifically, coconuts and palm leaf-based products, wheat, bananas, lemons, coffee beans, things of that nature and even sugarcane. Things of a more specific nature that you wouldn't see in a general farmland.
Okay, you know what? That does make sense. Well, if you want to get your sword fixed, probably hit up the shops. It's as fun as the party looks.
Yeah.
Well, that was the main idea. We have to find this person.
Alright, well, if you're heading toward the shops, you see each storefront has a display rack showing an individual food item or a bundle of a crop, and the spread is as diverse as the one I listed. Among them, you see, like I said, palm leaf-based products, coconuts, wheat, bananas, lemons, coffee beans, magic rings in a red hue, and fresh sugarcane. And when you approach the nearest shop, I'm assuming, it's ran by an asp woman with braided blonde hair and a white flower-patterned shirt and a straw sun hat. Her red name tag reading Lena. Hello, what can I get for you today?
Like a snake. Okay, I'm understanding now.
Joseph will look at her. We're newcomers to the island, and this is our first visit here. We're looking for a man named Oudigan, a blacksmith. You wouldn't happen to know where he resides, right?
Her face immediately falls, and her eyes go wide. You want to see the Forge Master?
You look shocked.
I wouldn't recommend bugging him while he's working, but if you really need to see him, then you might want to head over there. And she points toward the mountain itself, revealing that there's a small path winding around and behind the gate leading farther up the mountainside.
Well, isn't that a really dramatic place?
It's a little more dramatic than you realize because once she points it out, there's something else. If you take a look at the top of the mountain, you see a plume of smoke reaching into the sky from the top.
It's like something from Lord of the Rings.
Are y'all village next to an active volcano?
You'd be surprised how rich volcano soil is for growing certain things that you can't find anywhere else.
I mean, if that erupts, though, like, I assume y'all done risk management on that.
Well, of course. We wouldn't live here if we didn't think it was possible to survive here.
You know what? Fair enough. I won't question y'all's decisions.
I swear to God, if it actually did end up getting Wowery, so help me.
Oh, boy. Alright, so you guys gonna head up the path?
Before we do, Furry's gonna look at the party. It's like, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. That's a volcano. I'm already hot enough down here. I don't want to go up there. Y'all mind if I just hang out here at the party? I might tap out of this adventure.
I mean, if that's what you want, then go ahead.
You know, I'm okay with that. In fact, Chimo's starting to seem like she's overheating too. She's got the whole ice affinity, but even she's starting to feel a little warm.
Yeah, like Timo's over there hyperventilating. It's like I think I'm going to pass on the volcano trail.
All right, so then we will say that Joseph and Ignis both go up there?
Yep.
Yeah.
That actually makes sense, considering that Joseph needs to get his blade repaired, and Ignis, being draconian in nature, would probably have some amount of fire resistance, so I can work with this. So we'll start with you two, and then we'll go back to Barry, and then we'll just go back and forth as the need arises.
All right.
At the foot of the mountain where the path begins, you spot what looks like train tracks slowly winding its way up the exact same path you're planning on walking, and a very large pile of discarded broken rock dumped off to the side of the pathway.
A railroad system. How convenient. We haven't really seen anything like this in the other Demenses.
Now, when you follow the path all the way up to the top, the entrance to the cave is nothing really special. It's about 10 feet wide and tall, supported every few yards by wood framework. The train tracks on the ground actually lead inside of it, but you can't quite see where the tracks or the cave ends.
We will go in for the main entrance.
As you go in, the heat becomes more intense by the second, and after about a minute of walking, your ears fill with the clanging and banging of metal on metal and metal on stone, each clang and bang reverberating through the walls and the train tracks themselves. But you do eventually find the end of the path. It ends at a large open space inside the mountain, which reveals a full-on mining and smithing operation. On your left, you see a group of muscled men and women in white sleeveless shirts and black shorts swinging pickaxes into the rocky volcano walls, yanking out chunks of colorful or unique-looking rocks and tossing them into a crate closer to the center of the room. In the middle, the train tracks end right in the center of the space, with 3 old-fashioned mining carts sitting at the end of it, one of them full of chunks of rock. And the farthest mine cart sits right in front of a 10-foot wide and 3-foot tall circular rock wall jutting out of the ground, containing a pool of magma. A thick cloud of smoke billowing up and out through a massive hole in the rocky ceiling, which is in fact the smoke trail you saw earlier. And on your right, you see a row of 6 large iron anvils with 5 muscle people in blacksmithing aprons pounding away on chunks of metal. The only unoccupied anvil is currently split in half longways.
No, I'm not physically here, but the only unoccupied anvil is split in half long ways.
Correct.
I think we found the Forge Master's anvil, guys.
Yes.
Because, like, a Barry would not be able to do that, I think. Even in my strength.
$20 says out again is the domain master.
Oh, I mean, that was kind of... I mean, yeah, I feel like that kind of goes without saying at this point.
Yeah, it's implied, considering that he has the Forge Master.
Well, it seems like every master has a unique title within the domain itself, though. But yeah, I didn't want it to be too obvious.
Ignis would like to ask Joseph a question. Hey Joseph, how are you handling the heat so far?
I've been on operations in worse conditions. And well, my last mission was as worse as it could get, honestly.
Dude, I'm getting
I
hot
can
just
tell.
thinking about it.
I hoped I was leaving an impact on you.
Though as experienced as I am, even I have my limits, so I'm hoping this will be a quick visit.
Honestly, yeah, same. Should we talk to one of the regular forgers?
Joseph will walk up to one of the regular forgers, yeah, because he is gonna ask about Oudikin.
You approach a boar man with a shaved head wearing a smithing apron over a sleeveless shirt and a red name tag stating Garson. And he's just pounding away at the anvil, and he goes, what do you need?
I'm looking for Oudikin, the Forge Master.
He stops, and he just points over to his right, closer to where the magma pool is. Right over there.
Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm. Now, you couldn't see him because of the fact that he was obscured by the stream of smoke, but you see a very toned and very red Birdman in a blacksmithing apron and bandana, holding back long black and red hair, his beak black as coal, and his red name tag reading out again. You see him reach into two nearby crates, one of which is the crate the miners were tossing chunks of rock into, and he pulls out an oddly colored bronze rock out of it and a chunk of black rock from the other. You see him crush both rocks in his hands together slowly, mixing them together into a chunky powder. He cups his hands tightly together, inhales, and breathes a steady stream of fire onto that mix, and you can see molten liquid slowly begin to drip from between his fingers, which he then guides into a metal tray sitting on top of the lip of the rock wall. And once he's done doing that, he pitches any leftover chunks of rock into the minecart after, then hands the full tray off to the anvil workers, grabbing a fresh one nearby, placing it on the lip of the magma pool, intending to start the process all over again.
Guys, I just want to throw this out there. I think this one might be a little physically stronger than Barry. I don't think... I'm pretty strong.
What,
I
the
probably can't-
magma and the fingers didn't fucking... It didn't point anything...
I mean, it seems like he's a phoenix, because, like, I don't think any other mythological bird gets quite that hot. Maybe a Garuda, but Garuda's typically more associated with lightning than fire.
I will fully admit, he is more akin to a phoenix man.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why, but when I heard Garuda, I Jet Garuda from Jetman for some reason.
Fair enough. So, you plan to approach him?
Yep.
To your own peril.
Right before you do, Garson, the guy you were just talking to, stops what he's doing, turning to everyone and giving a loud wahoo before yelling, "Quitting time!" And every worker suddenly puts down their equipment and starts to pile out through the tunnel you came in. Apparently they're taking their short day as well. Oudigan is the only one that appears to have not left, whereas everyone else put down their equipment, starts to pile out through the tunnel you came in, and you see him just continue to crush, heat, and drip metal into his trays.
It seems
Well,
the
that's just
Forge
true.
Master is a hard worker indeed.
Mm-hmm. Probably more so akin to an alcoholic, I think.
Joseph will approach, given that it is his business.
Before you can even say a single word, he just suddenly snarls out, "I got an order to fill. Either make yourself useful or cop a squat in the corner. I don't give a shit which." And he points out a series of metal trays identical to the one that he was pouring the metal into before, that's just outside of his physical reach, about 10 feet away. And he's saying that you can either help him move those closer to him so he can use them, or you can just have a seat and wait for him to be finished.
Joseph will say, well, if helping you means I can see about getting what I want, then I may as well, and then proceed to take off his mask as as well as his shirt and coat, given how scorching it is in there. And as he's essentially bare at the upper body, there are even more visible lines of scars along his upper body and chest. And then there's a tattoo of a vulture head on his back. He will proceed to help with the task.
When he sees that vulture tattoo, he looks up with his piercing, vibrant green eyes, surrounded by a faint glow of red. I like his style.
It comes with the spoils of war.
Alright, so what I'd like each of you to do then is if you plan on helping out, just give me a quick fight or physique roll, whichever one, I don't care. Stealth will not help you in this case because you're not being stealthy in any way, you're literally just lifting.
Well, the only one I have at the moment is a fight +1.
Then give me a +1 roll.
I got no modifiers. Might be
Straight roll.
straight roll.
+2. I was scared for a second.
I think you rolled in the wrong chat.
You.
Oh shit, fuck.
Okay, that's fine. I can still use the +2 roll.
Yeah.
He's having a bad day.
It's fine. I can make it work. Alright, and Ignis, are you planning on helping out, or are you just going to sit back and relax?
He rolled a
was
-3,
planning on
Nanashi.
I just saw that. Sorry. Alright.
Yeah,
He was planning on helping. He did not.
You each pick up the trays one at a time and place them beside the one he's currently filling, slowly filling up the right side of the lip. But in the process, because you rolled so poorly, Ignis struggled quite a bit to pick one up and took 1 point of damage when it slipped out of his hands and clipped his foot.
Damn it.
Now, we'll pause here while you're doing that and go back to Barry and Chimo. Now, what will the two of you be doing in the meantime?
Seeing that Chimo is kind of struggling, I'm going to make sure she's okay. And if she is okay and not going to pass out from heat exhaustion within the next 10 minutes, I'm probably going to go join the festivities.
She seems okay for the moment. The ice affinity is definitely helping her stay cooler than she could be, but her manner of dress isn't exactly the most helpful in this. She's going to try and just trek on through until this is all said and done, and she'll follow you over to the party people. You see a circle of about 10 people sitting around a nice little controlled fire on the far distance of the drive between the storefronts and plantations. All of them are either relaxing on top of some rocks or small logs like chairs, enjoying some plates of freshly smoked meat, or playing music on their various instruments.
Barry's just going to find an open spot, plop his rear end down, see what happens.
Well, one of the people you sit down next to, one of the ukulele players, is a bearded dragon man with freely flowing black hair down his back, wearing only blue shorts. And he puts down his instrument and just welcomes your group to the table. How can we help you, friend?
Kind of just here exploring. We're relatively new to Dadum, and this is our first trip to the Demesne, so I heard all y'all having a hoedown over here. Figured I'd come see what the goings on was.
We have fun here when we work, taking our break before we go up and replace the team that's gonna be coming out of the forge soon. And since it is a short day, we thought we'd celebrate. In honor of the past king, may he rest in peace.
Barry, takes off his sunglasses, because, he doesn't wear a hat, but, respect rest his soul.
And you see this man just pat you on the back with a little bit of force, not enough to jar you, but enough to show he's being playful with you. I like your spirit, friend. Grab yourself a plate. We got fresh boar.
That sounds delicious. I might have to get me a plate.
Your lady friend is welcome to have some too.
Yeah, but I say, you got any cold drink? She's kind of struggling with the heat a little bit.
Absolutely. He reaches over and grabs a couple of bottles of water. Well, actually, they're glass bottles, I should specify. And you see his hands suddenly glow the faintest color of white, and you see them frost over immediately. He just magically enchanted his hands to cool the bottles right in front of you.
See, Chimo, you focus on the ice magic. Why can't you cool our drinks like that? But Chimo, Barry's giving her shit for the funny.
And Chimo just rolls her eyes and takes one of the bottles and immediately just chugs about half of it. And it's just like the other things that you tasted on this island. It is absolutely immaculately delicious and clean.
Hell yeah.
And the guy...
To the surprise of nobody.
He hands you a plate with some freshly smoked boar meat and says, "Name's Kyung, by the way. Who might you be?"
Pleasure to meet you, Keon. Name's Barry.
And your lady friend?
This is Chimo. Barry puts out the hand for the typical Barry handshake.
And this bearded dragon man is decently buff, so he accepts it. Obviously, it's not quite as strong as yours, but it's got some force behind it.
Good handshake.
I should hope so. I spend all my days swinging that pickaxe for that asshole out again.
Yeah. We're part of a group. Our other two friends went up to the mountain to go see out again.
He's taking a halfway sip of water when you say that, and he actually sprays it out into the fire in a spit take. You're going to see him?
I'm not going up there. I'm struggling with the heat too. I ain't going up into a volcano. But the other two did.
You better prepare a funeral for your friends then. He ain't in the best mood.
Is he he got a fiery temper or sorts?
That's on a good day, man.
Oh my lord, he's Jamaican. I was wondering what the accent was. That's on a good day, man. I'm sorry.
Nah, it's fine. It's fine.
No, that's great. I love Jamaican people.
I hope I'm doing a decent job.
I genuinely, at one of my previous jobs, I used to work with a guy from Jamaica. One of the coolest dudes ever.
Yeah, same here.
Me and him would drink on lunch breaks.
Yeah, same here. I had a Jamaican friend back when I was working for a certain telecommunications company, so that was fun.
Yeah.
Hold on. The funny part is like the people I've been in contact with, the one I've had the most fun with, majority of the people I had fun with are either black or part of the LGBTQ community. I am noticing a pattern.
Yeah, go figure. It's almost like people who are interesting or different.
Yeah.
But
anyways, back to the current scenario.
But just as he's saying that, you actually see a fleet of about 10 to 12 people walking out of that very volcano entrance that your friends walked into, and Kyong notices this. Ah, there be the party now.
Looks like our conversation got cut short.
Ah, it's fine. We'll be walking in there in about 10 to 15 minutes anyways.
Alright, well, let me get down into this bowl. I won't get a taste of this. I ain't never smoked meat myself.
He didn't hand you any silverware, so it's basically finger food. And when
Barry didn't care. He immediately picked. Barry grew up in Georgia and Nanashi. You already know. We grabbing that barbecue.
Chimo, on the other hand, might have an issue about that. Is the reason I was bringing it up.
Well, she'll figure it out.
Yeah, she picks it up with, like, obvious difficulty, but she manages to nibble on some of that meat, and she seems to like it. But when you taste it, because you definitely have this kind of flavor palette, it is incredibly tender, juicy, delicious. It is fantastic. And because it was cooked on an open flame, it has that finesse of smoky flavor.
That is good meat. How long y'all been? How many hours you have that thing smoking? I gotta know.
We slow roast most of them the night before.
Oh, that's how you do it, my man.
I knew I liked you for some reason.
Oh man, I had no smoked meat in a long time.
You even see some more people walking in through the gateway. This party just keeps getting bigger.
It does.
I think Barry found a new. Hold on, I think Barry found.
Listen, when you're as charismatic as Barry, everyone's your friend until they give you a reason to do otherwise.
Of course. But there is one small issue. The 9 people that just walked in, they are wearing face coverings.
Hey, you know these clowns?
No. And if I did, I wouldn't be able to recognize them from John. And one of them pulls out a pistol and shoots it into the open air.
Barry doesn't flinch.
If it wasn't obvious, these are marauders.
Yeah.
Barry's like, man, I know I joked earlier today that trouble just seems to follow us. I didn't intend to jinx us, dagnabbit.
It do be like that.
But we'll cut the scene here and go back to the forge, because this is where things get a little bit interesting. It takes a few minutes for him to finish, filling up the trays with fresh molten metal, which he takes each one by hand, single-handedly almost, and just stacks them on one of the nearby anvils after he finishes filling them. Alright, I'm done. Now what the fuck do you want from me?
How much would it be to repair this? Joseph will place the sword down in front of him.
He picks up the sword and kind of roughly, in fact, and just pulls it right out. The fuck you do to this?
It has seen a lot of years of combat, and the last wielder died tragically.
Sorry for your loss. He walks over to a nearby anvil, taking all the pieces that are currently broken, laying them out just right in front of you. No prep work, no anything. And immediately, he breathes a stream of hot flame onto the shattered pieces of those blades. As the metal starts to physically melt, he takes a long, thin iron rod, places it inside of the widest part of that blade, and slowly but surely, you see him physically finger with the metal and wrap it around, basically creating a new support piece for that blade. And you see him piece it back together as a new reinforced weapon, with the blade being a smoking red hot. But then, he also taps into it with a hammer to smooth out any imperfections or irregularities, and then he puts his fingertips on the blade, and you see the red hot heat channel off of that blade into his fingertips and up his arm. He has absorbed the physical heat from that blade and cooled it to a handleable temperature, and he did all of this in the span of maybe 5 minutes.
This guy, Nanashi, this is your coolest NPC. I'm gonna be real with you. This is the coolest guy that you have made.
Oh, you don't know the half of it, man. I put a lot of effort into all of them. They're cool in their own ways. You just haven't seen all of it yet.
This is my favorite. This guy is my favorite. I like this guy.
had a feeling you would say that. He picks up the blade and shows it to Joseph, showing that the blade is now clean and not 100% perfectly sharpened or anything, because he doesn't really have that tool on hand. And he puts it back into the scabbard. Take it to the blacksmith in town. That old jackal can clean it up for you.
I do thank you. It looks just like the day he got it.
And then all of a sudden, he starts sniffing the air. And his eyes lock onto Ignis. You're a fireblood, aren't you?
Yep.
Come here. Take off your gloves and show me your hands.
He proceeds to do so.
He grabs your wrists, holding them in front of his face, and you can see smoke coming off of your wrists as his physical grip is searing. You're not taking any damage from this, but it stings like hell. And he's staring at your hands and looking over your fingertips. Who the fuck taught you how to hold a sword?
That would be my fault.
He throws your hands down. You're holding your sword wrong. Swords are a flexible weapon. You can grip them with both hands and do more damage. This, by the way, is my way of telling you that up to this point, you've only been doing 2 damage because you've been holding your sword with a single hand. I am now telling you that because you can use flexible weapons with your stealth skill, your base damage from this moment forward with any sword strikes you do will be 3 instead of 2.
Let's go.
I noticed you were lagging just a wee bit behind in the damage department. I figured you might want that.
Yep.
And then he actually reaches over and pulls the sword out of your holster from seemingly out of nowhere and holds it up into the open air. And you see him physically examine it. Yeah, this ain't helping you. How old is this piece of crap?
More than I am.
And you see him just pitch it over his shoulder and it lands in the magma pool. And then you see him grab another sword from behind him. It looks physically similar to yours, but stylized just a little bit differently. Its handle is a bit longer to accommodate a two-handed sword style. The hilt is a blatant red, and the blade itself is physically almost the exact same size and shape, but you can see that the craft work is just a little bit more bird-like. The blade almost resembles something of a feather blade. Now, bear in mind, this weapon will not have any special properties. This is just to remind you that you will be doing 3 damage with every swing so long as you use this sword as part of your skill set. I'm just making that clear. I'm not giving you some fancy +1 sword. This isn't D&D. I'm not doing that right now.
Man, why is Ignis constantly getting gifts from the domain masters? He got a pendant or something from Miranda, and then now he's getting a new sword. A collar, yeah. That's right. That's
which, by the way, is still being worn.
Oh yeah, no, I'd imagine so. We're not questioning it. We know who put it there.
And the second he hands you that sword and you have a chance to pick it up, you hear a faint sound of a gunshot coming from outside the cavern entrance.
Joseph just sighs. Because of course, trouble always follows us no matter what Demense we go into.
And before you can even move in the opposite direction, Outagain is gone. You see him suddenly fly overhead with a stream of flame shooting out of his feet, as though he were an organic jet engine, and he is zipped right out through that entrance.
Okay, Fire Lord Ozai, I see you.
I love this guy so much. I love the nice people that talk like assholes.
Well, shall we follow?
Well, we got no other choice, and well, my task here is done.
Well, once you go outside, you see that a group of 8 marauders are currently running their way into the town, just breaking whatever they can get their hands on. They're cutting through fence lines, they're smashing porches, and they even kicked over the fire of the party goers that Barry and Chimo were hanging out with.
No. Barry would not have let them get close to the bonfire.
Okay, you know what?
I would have thrown them into the bonfire first.
You know what? Fine, I will give you that. I will say that you managed to grab one of them and threw them over into the bonfire, and then they just rolled out of it, burning up a little bit and just doing the whole stop, drop, and roll routine. I'll give you that one. That makes more sense.
Yeah. No. They ain't gonna kick the bonfire as Barry's standing next to. The moment they shot a gun into the air, it was hands. We were past the time of negotiation. Honestly, I'd probably get to them before they made it to the bonfire.
You know what? That's completely fair.
They wouldn't come to me. I'm going to them. They want this smoke. They're getting every single bit of it. And then some. They want the smoke. I'll drop the damn volcano on them.
Funny, because that leads us into the next part of this. See, Joseph and Ignis, I'm assuming, are running out to the outside of the entrance, both to get away from this immense heat and to see what the fuck's going on.
Essentially. Joseph didn't even have time to put back on his mask or his coat, so it's just kind of... He's just kind of clutched under his arm.
That's perfectly fine. Once you get out there, you see 7 or 8 marauders who are all running around doing whatever damage they can, like I said before. Barry, of course, and Chimo together, holding off the ones that get close enough for them to do anything to. In fact, Chimo has cast a little bit of ice magic on one of them to basically freeze their feet in place. And Barry is just kind of doing the one-handed throw over the shoulder routine, causing one of them to land in the fire before doing a stop, drop, and roll act.
Of course.
Come get some. I'm ready, brother. I'll take you all on at once. You will do nothing to me.
There you go.
Yeah, we gotta get in character, man.
And right up in the sky, you hear a loud, booming voice suddenly shout, "Hey!" And you see Outagain standing in the sky, arms crossed, flames shooting out of his feet, wings spread, right in front of the sun. And he is even more pissed than you saw him in when you first met him.
And I thought Barry had quite the entrance.
I mean, we'll take whatever we can get.
I have to use magic to enhance my voice. He's just naturally loud.
Yes, he is.
So there,
I use mana. He just has really big lungs.
though there was some shady fella walking out the gate there.
Before you have a chance to even expand on that, you see Outagain suddenly turn himself upside down and dive bomb at the ground, essentially creating a physical sonic boom on the ground, knocking most of the marauders that you two hadn't already taken care of onto their asses. And then you see him just casually walk around, pick up each and every one of them by a limb or the back of their shirt, or one of them by their hair even, and tosses them into a pile in the middle of the street.
Damn.
Eric, can Barry assist with that task?
He doesn't seem to care if you help out.
Yeah.
So between the two of you, you get all of them into one pile.
Now I'm gonna stand back and let Mr. Man here do as he needs to do, because I'm not. What am I gonna do? Stand in his way? I don't think so.
Once they're all in a heap, he cracks his knuckles and walks closer to them. The marauders all aim their weapons at him, but he just shakes his head in disappointment. You fuckwits made a mistake coming here and starting shit. Consider this your reckoning. Now, you didn't notice this before, but he has what looks like a long sword sheath on his back. And he reaches behind himself and pulls out a massive 6-foot-long, 2-foot-wide, multicolor, wavy longsword, looking like a solid strip of fire in steel form. And he aims its tip at the Marauders' feet, causing them all to flinch. And he states, with malicious intent, "I challenge thee." And from Audigan's feet expands a magical red energy ring that spreads to a width of about 50 feet, surrounding himself and all the Marauders in that pile. Once it finishes expanding, you see the red turn gold, and in the dead center of it, you see what looks like an eye-shaped symbol appear inside of it. And from that ring expands a transparent golden magical wall surrounding all of them.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Harry's
This
standing
feels like
outside.
hold on.
My job here is done.
Wait, this feels like a Toku finisher. I swear.
You get to watch all the Marauders suddenly panic and start punching, kicking, spellcasting, and slinging whatever they have at the magic wall, but nothing and no one is getting through. They are all trapped in there with him.
Joseph-
Really a Toku finisher. I swear.
Joseph looks on with a soft laugh, and here I thought I could be hardcore.
Audigan slams his blade into the ground, getting everyone's attention. Here's your challenge. Survive! And what you witness is the most brutal, bloody, one-sided beatdown you have ever seen. Every swing of a weapon gets deflected, every spell gets tanked, every attempt to defend gets punished. More flames than a house fire, more screams than a haunted house, and more bodies flying through the air than a paratrooper squadron. And scarily enough, he only ever used the flat side of his massive sword.
Oh.
He didn't even
I
cut.
love
He
this guy.
used that like a blunt weapon.
Now, by the end of these 38 seconds, the charred, battered, and bruised bodies of 8 Marauders are lying in a smoking heap. Several of these bodies now have wavy blade marks bruised and seared into their skin, permanent reminders of everything that just happened. And Audigan jams his blade straight down into the ground and rests both hands atop the handle. Well, what do you know? I win. The gold circle then fades away, and Audigan walks off toward a nearby pile of broken wood. He reaches behind it and picks up the ass woman you spoke to earlier, Elena, by the back of her white flower shirt, causing her to scream in fear. But she immediately shuts up when she is face to face with Audigan, whimpering a bit nervously, and he states as quietly as he can, "Go get the Thunder Force." She quietly nods, eyes wide as dinner plates, before she is suddenly released. Her ass lands on the ground first, but she quickly picks herself up and darts for the gates. And he walks back over to your group and cracks his neck very loudly. Well, I feel better. Now, where were we?
So I reckon you're out again.
That's me.
I'm impressed, to be putting it lightly. I like you. I like your style. Also, Joseph, why are you shirtless?
Well, it was scorching up there, and even I have my limits. And well, I was helping out again with a task before I could get my sword repaired.
Oh, nice.
All in all, it was a great opportunity to blow off some steam.
I can see that. You look like the type of person with a lot of steam to let off.
You don't know the half of it.
Though the Marauders are dealt with here, there is still a matter that has worried me when I spotted it. There was someone in a long coat and helmet walking out of the gate the moment the Marauders attacked.
They were the only smart one among the group then.
Or the head honcho, who wanted someone else to do his dirty work. But why attack here knowing, well, that you are,
Here, the fact knowing that you full well that you are here.
They might be after something.
Probably the Regalia.
The what?
What?
You don't know about... Fucking seriously! Ugh.
We've been here. Listen, my man, out again. We've been here for 2 whole days. Forgive us for not knowing a few things.
Okay, I'm gonna go nice and slow. He grabs the blade out of the ground and holds it up in the air. You see this sword? This is a regalia. It's my treasure and my symbol of rule in this domain. Every master's got one, and every fucker wants it. But you gotta earn it in a challenge with the current holder. And you see him draw a dirt circle with the tip of the blade. That was a challenge ring. Any legit regalia holder makes or receives a challenge, it makes one of those circles. Once it goes up, you either win, lose, surrender, or die. Otherwise, no one gets in, no one gets out. Simple enough?
Crystal clear, my man.
Good.
Guys, we have met the one man Barry is kind of scared of.
Damn.
Barry wasn't even scared of Arledge. Barry is scared of this man. Barry is truthful. He does like his style. Trouble comes knocking, you deal with it.
But at least Arledge is approachable at the very least.
Yeah. Barry's just gonna be on his P's and Q's around this man, because, Barry don't want to be no trouble. Especially not to out again.
This talk of regalias and needing to earn them through battle, it reminded me of another situation that occurred. Out of character, real quick. Was it the white or? Yeah, it was the white Demense where we met. Where we met.
Yeah,
met
basically what I'm following is Lucky basically took Whitaker's sword, tried to do the I challenged thee, but it didn't work for Lucky because he didn't win it through a challenge. He stole it.
Yeah,
Therefore,
I was just double checking which domain that was in again.
Yeah, that was Whitaker. That was Whitaker's sword from the white domain. Yeah.
And we're back in character to finish that sentence. The domain master Whitaker had a sword stolen from him by Lucky, but according to Lucky, the sword just wouldn't function right.
The fucktard probably stole it. Wouldn't surprise me. Whitaker's a bit of a pussy.
And while you're going on about that, Ignis just thinks to himself on why the line I challenge thee sounds so familiar.
It probably sounds familiar because pretty much every single time we've seen a domain master administer a beatdown, they've said it, which I imagine they say that and it ensures the enemy cannot escape.
And then we saw a similar display like what you did back in the Grey Demense. Thanatos did it on a few marauders there.
Wait a minute, I just now remembered. Miranda said the same thing.
Listen, knowing what we know about that woman, I highly doubt you won.
Well, yeah, obviously, but now that I think about it, maybe each domain master has their own type of challenge. Like with what Audigan did, or Thanatos, Grey Domain.
Well, bear in mind that with what Joseph saw, there was no gold circle in that. It was just a swirling vortex of gray mist.
I think that was more just Thanatos beating him. I don't even think he had to administer the challenge, actually, yeah.
Otherwise, they wouldn't have just been able to run away. As Outagain said, once it's up, no one goes in or out.
Outagain, if you don't mind my asking, just out of, just faint curiosity, do you make up the challenge on the spot, or is that survive always the challenge for you?
When it comes to me, surviving is the only thing worth challenging.
But if you wanted to make it a different challenge, you could say a different challenge.
If any of these piss ants could come up with a challenge worth my time, then sure. Otherwise, I'm kicking their ass.
Like, if someone wanted to challenge you they could forge a better sword than you, which I highly doubt to be true. Ain't no damn way.
The second you say those words, the air around you gets twice as hot when his feathers start to glow red.
Barry starts panicking, which is definitely not true. I highly doubt anyone could ever make a better weapon than you. Like, you seem to be very good at what you do.
And he cools down immediately. I have to be.
I'm just saying, for example, if someone wanted to challenge you in that regard, they could.
I suppose.
All right, well, that's my curiosity satisfied. Thank you for your time.
I gotta get back to work. And you see him just step away, spread his wings, and immediately just jet back off into the cave entrance.
Ooh. Okay.
And the temperature got about 20 degrees cooler.
Hold on, wait a minute. Does that mean he's just radiating 20 degrees?
To be fair, he was kind of pissed off.
You caught him when he was calm.
Oh, no.
Calm? That's calm?
Dude, you realize if he ever gets truly pissed, that volcano is going to erupt. I'm pretty sure the volcano won't erupt. I'm pretty sure he will erupt and start spitting out magma.
Hold on. Now I'm curious. Do you have the image of like what he looks like? Like, has that commission finished?
Actually, yes. I was going to share it sooner, but I forgot. Give me 1 sec.
Listen, y'all. We've met a fair few domain masters up to this point. They've all been pretty agreeable, and I do like Outing. There are two of them that scare me. Miranda scares me because powerful women are terrifying, but maybe that's just a me thing. And then Oudigan scares me because, you know, I appreciate the way he handles things. If there's trouble, you just remove it. I don't want to be no trouble for him. Ain't no way, no how, and no fashion do I want to be any trouble for that man, because Barry points over to the charred pile of marauders. I don't want that smoke. I don't want that smoke. I don't want that fire. I don't want that magma. I don't want none of it. That's coming from me. Y'all know I'm going to throw hands with damn near anyone, but I don't want that.
And when you point that out, that's actually when the Thunder Force finally shows up with Lena, the Asp Woman, at their side. And they're just running clean up.
Alright, lovely to see y'all. Barry just waving.
Harkin waves at your group, knowing full well that he expected to see you here.
When the moment I see Harkin, I just shout at him, "What did I tell you, Harkin? I told you sooner rather than later."
And he just rolls his eyes and walks away.
Yeah, and then Ignis proceeds to say, I think I'm gonna need to pay another visit to Miranda.
Another one?
Yeah.
Tried to win that challenge.
No.
Well, that actually reminds me. What exactly did Miranda challenge you to? You never told them.
We never asked.
Because he just put together that Miranda challenged him for her regalia, theoretically.
Regalia was just the bed.
It was to satisfy.
Yeah, no, you know, based on first impressions of Miranda, I could have guessed. Hence the joke. You definitely did not win that challenge.
These are regalias. Now that I think on them more, when we first came to this island and when we heard about the legend of being able to escape it, as low quality as that film was, there was something about it. The actors obviously went to every domain, experienced their own sort of hardships there, but there was talk of specific challenges to do. You don't think maybe this is in regards to the regalias each domain master is holding?
No,
It has to be.
I hadn't thought about it, but when you put the two dots together and you draw the line between them, it does stand to reason. So here's my question though. Say for example, I was to go like challenge Olage to a wrestling match for his regalia, right? It's just say I won. I doubt it, but just say I won for the sake of the argument. The regalia is now mine, and I think by logically that would make me now the domain master of the Violet Domain. Though my question is, right, if say like the task we have to do, right? Say like to get this prophecy, someone has to get all the regalia from all the domain masters. Can we do that like as a group, or does one of us have to win all of the challenges and get all of the regalia?
Well, that is a fantastic question. You should probably find somebody to ask about that.
It's going in. Barry pulls out his notepad. That's going in the notepad.
Well, regardless of the specifics, I think I know why they're interested. After all, we did hear that the Marauders sprung up from a collective group of people who didn't want to be on this island any longer. Maybe they heard the legends and are in a desperate bid gathering together to cause as much trouble in the respective Demenses as possible to try and get these regalias.
Hold on. This has been bugging me. Hold on. This has been bugging me Well, Raven, you keep on saying Demense instead of domain.
It's fine.
Demence, domain, it's the same goddamn thing at this point.
It doesn't matter. I know what he's saying. Domain, Demense. It all means the same thing. Just let it go, man.
It's not pronounced Demence, though. Like, I wasn't gonna say anything, but I'm with Ignis on this one.
Then how do you pronounce?
It's domain.
What
Yeah,
the
it's essentially
fuck?
it's essentially an old English spelling of domain. It's like how you had the old English spelling.
And nobody
jail,
nobody corrected me on that. Damn.
We didn't want to be difficult.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I will
Fair.
actively. You see, I actively like to refer to myself as a grammar Nazi because I'll be the first person to call people out on that. But I like you, so I was trying to have patience.
Damn, now I feel bad.
Don't worry about it, man. It's not the end of the world.
it's
Yeah,
really not
don't.
it's really not that big of a deal.
They're just busting your
I saw
balls.
that-
They're just busting
Yeah.
your chops.
Yeah, as long as she mentioned, it means the same thing. We all knew what you meant. It's just
Yeah,
been
exactly.
bothering the hell out of me.
Okay. So, you got your weapon repaired, which means now you have options for short and long range combat.
Well, you got it put back together. Being
need
that
to-
it's not
we-
sharpened or polished, I don't think it's really quite usable yet.
Well, that's why we gotta go back to that one dude, or at least Joseph is going to.
The blacksmith, yeah.
Yeah, we go as a group, you know? We don't separate that often.
Yeah.
Man, I was really looking forward, but Bear's like, man, I was really looking forward to that party while y'all was up there. I'm really upset that was cut short.
Though-
Actually, hold on. Barry's running to the party site. Oh, they got any place of barbecue left.
As it happens, Kyong and all of his friends have essentially rebuilt the party, although a couple of the rocks and tree branches that they were sitting on are now gone. But they were able to salvage the majority of the food and are already eating it again.
Hey man, you mind if I grab you a couple of plates for my homies that was up yonder seeing out again? Because they didn't have the opportunity to try, you know, and I think everyone needs to take a moment in their life to try out good smoked pork.
Absolutely, man. Everybody come grab a plate.
Y'all come over here, grab a plate, or I'm gonna throw y'all over my shoulders and drag you over here to grab a plate.
And as it happens, he also walks over to a nearby cooler, and instead of pulling out bottles of water, he pulls out glass bottles of beer.
Y'all got any more water in there? I'm afraid I'd abstain from alcohol.
And he points out that there's still plenty more, but I get the feeling that Joseph is staring at that beer in curiosity.
I mean, he's already got his stash that is probably much better.
That's fine. But in either case, we'll say that for the rest of what little morning you have, you guys get to sit back, relax, enjoy a nice, wholesome, fulfilling meal of boar meat, and we'll cut off the session right here. Does that sound good?
Sounds pretty alright, yeah?
And then when we pick up the next session, we'll start in the afternoon phase, which I assume will start with Joseph taking his sword down to the blacksmith to get cleaned up, and then we'll see where it goes from there. Does that sound good?
Thumbs up.
Well, I'm gonna pay a visit to Miranda afterwards. Because first off, payment. Secondly, I want to ask her about her regalia.
You know what? I am perfectly okay with that, and we can do that at the start of the next session.
Yeah.
If
I was thinking of like doing that after Joseph gets his sword cleaned up.
Oh, okay. So you weren't planning
Going
on
on
splitting up
another
the party.
midnight
You were planning on
rendezvous.
going as a group to both of these instances.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
If the theory holds weight about these regalias, then the masked, cloaked man that Joseph caught a glimpse of is no doubt the one responsible for all the marauder stuff to try to get off the island.
Yeah. Fucking Izayo Kyumimon over here.
But I wonder who it could be. Could it be Jesus? Michael Phelps? Obama?
Antonio Banderas.
Who?
We
What was
gotta
that last one? Wait a minute.
Great.
What Nanashi said or what I said?
What Nanashi said? I
Give
received
me a
lunch.
second. Give me a second. Here.
Could it be Doug Walker?
Anyways, I think this will be a good place to cut off the session, so I'll go ahead and stop the recording right now, and we'll pick it up in a few weeks. Sound good?
Alright.
All right. Well, in the meantime, this has been fantastic and fun. We got a lot of good information put out there, and hopefully you'll be able to string it all together in the next session. Bye-bye.
Bye.